Howdy, y'all. Got the Bulldog on the channel. I'm sitting here. I would want to really say that it's a slow day, but it's not. We've got a ton of stuff to do, but we really don't have a ton of stuff to do because we have no parts to do it with. What we're running into, and this has been a growing problem over the last few months, is supply chain issues. And we get the same answer every time: COVID. We can't get brakes, rotors, oil, uh, maintenance items, just regular maintenance items. We're having a heck of a time finding them. Uh, there's been a few things that there's no availability. Last week I tried to order brake clean, national back order. I called this morning and they said that the warehouse finally got some in, but they haven't got it at the store yet. So I ordered some. I was down to my last can there at home. And up here at the shop, we ordered 2 cases the last time we ordered some. We always order by the case. Certain oil filters we're starting to have some issues with. Can't get them, or they're, linked DC, which they have 1-day delivery and then 2-day delivery and then email. The 1-day delivery is, the next day they show up, usually. 2-day delivery is they have some giant hub store quite a ways away, and that store delivers it to a regional hub store. The regional hub store delivers it to the sales store. We were promised, or we were told a couple of years ago, that O'Reilly's was going to be putting a hub store in Quincy, Illinois. They just broke ground on it here the other day. And then I find out, no, it's not a hub store. It's just going to be a regular sales store. So they're going to have 2 stores in the same town when they're having a hard time finding enough people to work at one. They can't keep drivers. They can't keep people on the counter. The management is the same, and you've got the long timers there. There's a couple 3 people that I know over there that have been there for years, but other people just can't seem to cycle all the time. They're cycling. They don't stay very long. They find out, oh, shoot, this is work. I thought I was just going to punch a computer. You have to know stuff. People get mad at you when they get the wrong stuff. Well, gosh dang it. Well, yeah, you kind of got to know what you're doing with any job you have out there. You kind of got to know what you're doing. But and then a lot of people are getting really sick of the general public. They keep getting louder and louder and louder because, what do you mean you don't have it? Well, they keep adding more and more and more part numbers, more and more options, but it's not an option. You have to have the one that fits it. And then they want several different grades of parts. They want the cheap part, they want the mid-grade part, and they want the high-grade part. And then you're supposed to keep all 3 of those in enough quantity that if somebody else buys one, you have one sitting there waiting for the other guy that comes in there, if you sell 2 sets a day or whatever. How big of a store do they need to have? This new one they're going in, they're going to go in a lot bigger, is what I've been told. But still, that does not fix the problem of people to run it. So what brought this on is we brought a car into the shop, needed brakes. And this is a late 90s, it's like a 99, 98, 99 Camry. One of the most generic, ultra common cars there are out on the road. Not one store had brakes for it at all. They didn't have a rotor. They didn't have pads. Well, they didn't have the higher end pads that we use. We don't buy the cheap ones because they make noise. People want the cheap, but they also want it to be the best. They don't go together. So, but here we go. We're waiting now. We've got our lift tied up. And my boss is going to be, well, they did find another local store, local as in 45 minutes away, that has them. And they had other stuff to meet up with them to get, so they're going to get the calipers for it. That's something else that has gone astronomical. That stuff has doubled in price. The cheap brakes now cost as much as the expensive brakes did a year and a half ago. The prices have skyrocketed. The availability has gone down. And here we are, swamped with work that we can't get done. So, we talked to a person. They actually do our books here at the shop because they're quick at it and they're good at it. And they're a manager at a fast food joint here in town. They can't get people to work. Yeah, it's a pet peeve of mine that I want to say nobody takes responsibility, but that's what it boils down to. Nobody takes responsibility. They will sit there and tell you that they really want to work, but then they don't work. They say, well, I put in applications everywhere. Nobody's calling me back. What are you putting on your application that makes you a bad hire? As somebody who has had to learn the lesson in the business, I'm not even the boss here. But I'm close enough. This is just me and the owner here. So I see almost everything about the business. My plans were 26 years ago, to go to school, learn the backside of the business, stuff that I didn't already know, and start my own shop. 6 months into the business, I abandoned the idea of starting my own shop. I did eventually do that, but it wasn't because of some dream of being self-sufficient business owner. It was out of sheer desperation, because it was the market crash of '08. We had a flood scare at this business, which that's when I found out that self-employed people don't have unemployment. I called because we were evacuated down here, and I was out of work for quite some time, and I couldn't get unemployment. They told me point blank, you're self-employed, you can't be out of work, you just don't have any. Click. Well, thanks. Business owners, self-employed people, they have all these programs out there for you guys. Your hundreds of dollars a week unemployment for COVID, all that kind of stuff, the extra money going on. We have no choice but to work because there is no option. We have to go, and now we're got our hands tied with supply chain issues. So here we are, just fighting it. More stories to come. I'll try to get as much, work down there as I can to show you. It gets repetitive, but there'll be more coming. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you feel about what I'm doing. Use your buttons and hit your little bell notification. Share it around, and we'll talk at you later.